Okay, welcome to the call today. We're now live on Facebook. Excited to be with you today and share a couple of thoughts that have been coming up for me. One of them is I just finished the book, The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. A lot of you have probably heard of or read the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek, but his book, The Infinite Game, is, in my opinion, a game changer. It is so on point and it's rocking my world. So I want to share just the 5 main ideas from the book. His big idea is that business does not exist to make money. Businesses exist to advance a cause. And when we lose sight of that, we fail. We fail our company, but we also fail our customers, and the cause suffers. So his definition of a just cause is it's what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning. It's a passion or hunger that burns inside that compels you to do what you do. And it's more than just a why. He differentiates that a why is more part of your origin story. It has more to do with kind of who you are and what your kind of the things that led up to you doing what you're doing. Whereas your just cause has to do with this vision for the future that is usually impossible. So Bill Gates' vision was to have a personal computer in every home. And Steve Jobs' vision was to have propel those who are going against the norm, those who are disruptors and innovators. And then the second aspect of, good morning, Tiffany.
Hi, morning.
How are you?
Keep sharing what you're sharing. It
Hey.
sounds like it's juicy.
So I'm just sharing highlights of The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. The second aspect is that the infinite game is played with courageous leadership. These are leaders who are willing to stand up and do what's unpopular and do what is hard to stay true to the cause. And so this often means that they take short-term losses in order to win a long-term gain. And gain is not always financial. The third aspect of the infinite game is a vulnerable team. We talk a lot here about vulnerability, but he lends a lot of credibility to how much a culture of safety can make all the difference, and it creates an environment of trust. The fourth point is a worthy adversary, a worthy opponent. And so instead of looking at someone that the world might define as your competition, we look at them as a worthy rival, a worthy competitor. And it's not about winning. It's about becoming each of us helping the other become our best and bringing our best to the game. And then the last point is an open playbook. So what he means by that is instead of having a fixed strategy, it's about being open-minded and being willing to pivot. And one of the best examples that he gives is Kodak. So Kodak was far and away the leader, right? They had pioneered personal photography, and they even invented digital photography, but they were unwilling to move with the market into digital photography, and they just hunkered down on film. And they went from having I think it was 85% of the market to now they have about 4%. And so, and they're the ones that invented digital photography. So a willingness to pivot when times change. So one of the reasons that I was so moved by this book is because, Tiffany and I have put a lot of focus on vulnerability and how to lead with that. But he gives us a whole new tool set for defining our just cause. So you can't just go out in the marketplace and be vulnerable and expect massive results. You've also got to have a cause that people want to follow. More and more these days, people change companies, they change what they're doing for the cause, not because of the money or the time freedom. It has more to do with being a part of something and changing the world together. So on that note, I just want to give a little plug for the event that I'm doing at Leadership. This is the Courageous Leadership event, and I'll put the URL in the box. Oops, that went to the panelists. Let's give it to the attendees now. Okay, so that is the link. This is the day before Leadership in Phoenix, and I'll go ahead and put that up in Facebook as well. So we'll be spending the day on how to be a courageous leader, and it's going to be highly interactive. So this is not just a bunch of information, but it's going to be experiential. And so we'll be taking you through processes to help you define your just cause as well as your why, and also take a look at how you can lead and create that culture in your team of safety and vulnerability. One of the coolest examples that Simon Sinek gives in his book is the Navy SEALs. And they have a graph that shows where people fall on being a producer and creating trust. So what they found was, you would think that Navy SEALs just wants the guys who can just get it done. But when a team is putting their life on the line and putting their lives in the hands of these other teammates, it actually matters more how much trust is created rather than if they can accomplish the mission. And so the best way to do that is by creating a culture of vulnerability. And the same thing is true, it couldn't be more true than the environment that we find ourselves right now in doTERRA. We have, basically we're asking people to take a huge risk, to leave this world of safe employment and to set sail as a volunteer in doTERRA and to only get paid by performance. And so that's a big risk. And the only way we can do that effectively is by creating that safe space and by leading with vulnerability ourselves. So anyways, it's a great book. It's going to be an amazing training. It's open to all ranks. It's not just for silvers and above. So we'd love to have you join us. So Tiffany, how are you doing?
I'm doing so good. Did you tell them all the fun experience we had over the weekend?
No, do you want to share?
Well, just fun. It just is good to spend time in play and joy. But Natalie and Andy took a group of us to a fun outing, to dinner, and then to this amazing comedian. You guys should look him up on YouTube if you're not familiar with him, named Brian Regan. And we just laughed so hard, and that's so good for the soul, right? So just such a fun night, and yeah, just loved it. So we had a good time.
We all had sore cheeks and sore stomach.
Yeah, some of you were getting the laugh headache, you know?
I know, the buzz, yeah. It's like, wow.
Yeah, we laughed really hard. It was hilarious. He is such a funny comedian and very clean, so we like that. And then a group of most of us went to dessert after and totally sugar bombed ourselves. You know, we did do that. that did happen. I
Which
do
is,
think there was Terrazyme being passed around the table at some point as well. Right, to offset it, but just so much fun. The best hot cocoa. There's a great bakery here in Salt Lake City, if you are in Utah or come to Utah, called Gourmandy's, that just does amazing pastries and cakes and hot cocoa and all the things you could ever want to indulge in. So, but see, we're back this morning to celery juice, so don't be alarmed, everyone. Like, back to my, to my long life vitality and my celery juicing and trying to eat and drink cleaner. So everything is all good.
I love it. That's the daily grind right there.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just posting our Zoom link on Facebook for anybody who wants to be joining through Zoom.
Yes.
So anything coming up for you today that you want to share?
Yeah, I think I had, some of you are participating in my gratitude series. And if you don't know about it, it's simply, you can go to gratitudeseries.com. It's a free course. There's no sales pitch. It's just an awesome, incredible community of thousands and thousands of people around the world tuning in to create more intentionally gratitude and generosity, to get anchored before the mad dash of all the holiday influence, and really just getting centered in those true principles. But yesterday we had a call that like blew my mind. So you can access the recording once you register gratitudeseries.com, and it will be sent to you as well. So I know some of you are participating in that course, but my goodness, he was sharing some different aspects of his life and growing up and some of the experiences that he went through. And it really stood out to me. And one thing that he shared that I felt like there were several things that were shared that I just was taking notes and like, oh my goodness, this is a dear friend of mine named Steve Dennis out of Atlanta, Georgia, was my thought leader guest yesterday. But he was sharing one particular thing about the power of gratitude. And when we anchor to gratitude regularly, right, as a practice, as a habit, but as well as a way of just being, he talked about how gratitude helps us make sense of the past, brings us peace in the present, and gives us vision for the future. And I was like, whoa. And just the reminder of gratitude is like a great, neutralizer and a great activator at the same time, meaning it can neutralize the pain. It can help us come back to the gratitude of the moment that you're in, the gratitude of the experience. And he shared, Andy, I did not know this about Steve's life and upbringing, but his mother had him in her mid-30s. And his dad was like in his 60s. So he was always like, wait, when he was like 10 years old, why is everyone else's dad so young and what's going on?
Wow.
But what he came to learn a little bit later in life is that his mother had 3 sons before Steve. And those 3 sons died in a house fire. The whole home went up in flames and all 3 of her children perished. And I just was like,
Oh.
Are you serious? Like,
Oh my goodness.
And because he was sharing, he learned, I asked them, who did you learn gratitude from and who modeled that? How did you come to learn about this eternal principle? And his mother, this amazing woman, her name's Estelle, as he shared on this session, but that her husband and his father felt strongly there were more children to come. So Steve was born, and then another, his sister, younger than him, a few years later. But he knew he was born into gratitude, right? Like the deep gratitude that this baby was here, that Steve was there. And one thing later in life, after she passed, she came to him in a meditation. And Steve and I met through the Jack Canfield world. And he was actually a coaching client of mine back in 2011. And he's such a love. He's a bright light. And he went on to say and share that this experience, his mom came to him in a meditation at one of the trainings. And she shared with him, and she used the language, she's like, baby, and I wrote this down yesterday, I did not raise you with the drama of my past trauma. Because she was like really healthy and happy and checked in. And even though understandably so, she could have been stuck heavily in that past trauma, right?
Yes, no.
But she chose to say, to live into gratitude and to show and to model like, hey, yes, of course. And there's a season, of course, of grief that you would naturally go through. And you would have waves of grief show up throughout at different points in your life. But even in that level of a circumstance, right? Because for me, it was like, really? Like, I don't know how someone would get out of bed again after a loss of a child, let alone losing your entire family in,
Oh,
you know?
wow.
So that being said, and I know there's a lot of energy on that, but the point of you have to listen to him share this and teach, and then some other amazing gems where he talked about, how she transformed that and how she raised him up and what he went through. And he even talked about, then we were talking about generosity, and he had this experience once where he was working with FedEx or UPS, excuse me. He was working for UPS, and about 6 months in, he got fired. They were like, Steve, you're just not pulling your weight. You're not moving, hustling fast enough. This isn't for you. And he said something, Andy, that was so profound to me. Two really big things. He said, so he got fired, and instead of like going home and crawling in bed and ordering pizza and eating Ben and Jerry's and Netflix, which is kind of where I think I might lean towards, he went home, changed his clothes, and went to the hospital and visited people who were struggling or sick or ill, and went and poured love to someone else, sowing that seed in your own time of need. But something he said so important yesterday about that is he said, I got fired that day. I got fired from a job and gained a calling, right? As he got into ministry as a PhD in Bible studies. He's a John Maxwell trainer, Jack Canfield trainer, and he does a lot of speaking and training. The point being is like the entire thought process of just how, no matter where you're at right now, and I want all of you to hear this, no matter where you're at, and some of you, life is thriving and rocking. And for some of you, you're in some deep transition, maybe a divorce, a challenge, a health issue, maybe similar, a job loss or something that you're going through, like a tough season. And maybe some of you, life is just, normal. It's just is what is, but maybe a little of the blahs or just feeling kind of, It's just a reminder that anytime we choose, we can choose to feel and drop into gratitude and generosity, and how both of those will shift us. Because think about it. Have you ever served someone, gone out and ministered to someone, done a kind act, and stayed in your funk? I think it's pretty challenging to hold on to that bad mood when you get out of yourself and serve someone else. And so anyway, I don't mean to monopolize so much time on that. I'm definitely ready to move into coaching. When you ask me like, what's up for you, I'm still thinking. And again, I've done this course for 8 years, and I've heard lots and lots of beautiful conversation and principles and gems and quotes and so forth. And I love it every single week. But there were some things yesterday I felt like were like, whoa.
Wow.
Powerful.
That's amazing. What a gift.
Yeah. So I'm loving it.
So Max, many of you know that my oldest son, Max, had a burn accident when he was 14. And so that was pretty intense for us. But in that process, we met some people who had, they didn't have the positive outcomes that we did. And there was a father that we met who lost 2 of his children in a house fire. And to hear his story, and to hear about the wall of flames that, anyways, I'm not going to go there, but it was traumatic just hearing. And do you want to guess where Max is right now?
Tell me. I'm just, yeah. Oh boy, I didn't get the tissues ready for today, so I wasn't planning on all of that, but tell me, where is he?
He's up at the burn unit serving.
Yeah. Oh, I just love him. And I love that so much.
Yeah, they have that support group every week, and so that's what he does every Wednesday morning. Giving the love and giving the service. So. Okay.
Well, you okay over there? I'm just sending you love for this because I know we're just like, okay, activating all the things.
Yeah. No, I'm great.
Yeah.
It
is fun to see Max, like when we were at dinner on Saturday night and seeing him, a time or two since he's been home from his church mission.
Yeah.
Because, that day that everything went down and we were all together that night, me, you, and Natalie in his room. And it just was like, he was on death's door, literally. And so like to see how he's healed and how he's thriving clearly is just like deep, deep gratitude. And it's fun to like razz him a bit. You know, we were teasing each other, you know, about the Utes and the Cougars and, you know, just giving each other a hard time, but just having fun is so great to have him here. So I just think, you know, it's this thing where I invite all of you in this moment listening. I want you in this moment to write down, what are 5 things you feel grateful for, right? Let's just get into some gratitude for yourself. If you'll move into that of just, we woke up today, right? You likely, if you're tuned into this call, you have access to technology. You therefore have electricity. You have some form of resources. Most of all of us, I would assume, slept in a bed last night, right? Or we had food. We didn't wake up wondering if we were going to be able to have clean water today or if we would have a meal, right? And so it's not to make light sometimes when people are, you know, we're in something that's heavy-hearted, but heavy-hearted or not, like we still have the ability to choose into, and how we help heal ourselves, I think, is coming back to seeing the good, seeing the positive, seeing and focusing on ways we can then serve and give back to others. So anyway, welcome to Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to Heart Talk.
There we go. So we are here to serve you, and we would love to bring you on live. If you want to just raise your hand in the Zoom room, that's usually the best, most interactive way. So we've got Cass raising her hand. And she put her hand, here we go. Okay. It's bouncing back and forth. All right, Cass, can you hear us?
Yeah, but I was just raising my hand because you said to raise my hand. I didn't expect to be talking.
Oh, okay, no worries. Yeah, so.
Well, do you have something you want to share, Cass, that you're thinking about or that's up for you?
Wow, sure. Let me step outside. Hold on.
Anybody else who wants to post a question, feel free to put that in the chat box or in the comment box on Facebook.
Okay, I'm back. Hi.
Hi.
So, can you see me?
Not, your video's turned off.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know if I can turn it on. Yeah, I haven't been to the technological part. I just listen. So, I really deeply appreciate what you're saying about the gratitude, and it's just absolutely so spot on. My sister adopted a very strong gratitude practice while she was dying with ALS, and it changed everything, and it changed everybody around her. There's one thing to be grateful because, oh gee, we should be grateful, but another thing to intentionally live a life in gratitude. So, but since you asked, and I can't believe I'm doing this, I'm right now feeling vulnerable and having some rather intense financial issues, having just cashed out our second to last IRA. And yeah, so I'm just feeling both nervous and excited at the same time.
So feeling like jumping into doTERRA is the nerve-wracking part, or just using up savings and resources? Is that the
yes? Yeah, using the savings and resources is, yes. And then Mason was wondering, well, gee, what's wrong? I do have some self-doubt. I have a PhD in psychology, and yeah, I've always been. You're talking about going for the cause. I run a nonprofit that I helped start in '91, a few years after I had breast cancer, and I've been passion driven. And I run a lot of breast cancer groups, about 84 a year, and but it's not necessarily always income generating because running a nonprofit and doing the fundraising and blah 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 it's as one person kindly said, it's not my skill set, but being there for people on an emotional level is. So yeah.
Wow. Well, first of all, welcome. So grateful that you would stay on and share what's coming up for you. And hats off to you for leading that cause. I don't know a single person who hasn't been personally impacted by cancer. And so just massive respect for you being willing to take that on and do the hard things. And that sounds like a lot of groups. It sounds amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Natalie and I started a nonprofit right after we got married, and so I know what you mean. They're usually not profitable. Through their name.
Exactly. That's why they call it nonprofit.
Yep.
It lives up to the name spoken over it, right?
Yep. So, so it sounds like you have a PhD in psychology. And where you're at emotionally is just feeling like not a lot of self-confidence. You mentioned some self-doubt.
Yeah. I have a very modest private practice, but most of my psychic energy goes to save ourselves, and more recently, a lot of my psychic energy is going to doTERRA, that I totally just love. As one of my friends says, it's so you, because I practice integrative psychology, and doTERRA does that. And yeah.
Wow. So I'm curious, with your psychology background, if you were coaching yourself and giving advice, if somebody was in the other seat and you were giving the coaching, what would you say? How would you coach them through self-doubt?
Well, usually what has happened is sometimes I first allow them to feel that self-doubt, because they're not going to release something until they fully felt it. And then I'll sometimes we'll just, it's sort of a cognitive behavioral thing, just point out the things that they have accomplished, but not just the things that they've accomplished, but who they are despite their challenges.
I love that. So do you want to share that with us? What you've accomplished?
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
now I'm feeling embarrassed.
Just sharing.
Well, okay. I mean, in some ways I'm a little unique in that I have attention deficit disorder, and which is different than saying I am ADD, by the way. And in first grade I was in a slow reading group, and in seventh grade I was in a slow reading group, and I just want to say it was with my my reading comprehension was good, but it's just very slow. So some people say I'm the poster child for attention deficit disorder because I went and got a PhD. It took some time. Also I got hit by a truck and had a baby in between, but during that time. So that's remarkable, I guess.
I'll say that's amazing.
Oh, and then I was valedictorian of my graduating class.
Wow.
Which when they asked me to talk about where my belief was, when the dean of students called me and asked me, to be the speaker and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, wait. He said, well, you have a why? And he said, well, you have the most outstanding record. And I said, no, you mean balance. I still owe $13,000. And he said, no, I assure you, you have the highest grades. And I said, oh, no, what about Heidi? What about Melissa? And it's like I wasn't willing to believe that me, the one that always grew up feeling stupid, could actually be valedictorian of a PhD class. It
Wow.
wasn't in my belief system.
Wow.
So yeah. And then when he assured, I said, "Oh, you're counting my master's classes too." And again, he's saying no. It was just like I'm trying to talk him out of it.
Wow.
So that's remarkable, I guess.
That is remarkable. So you, despite ADHD, you completed a PhD as valedictorian. You started a nonprofit and have led that, impacting hundreds, if not thousands, of lives.
Yeah.
So what kind of person does that?
Crazy person? No. Well, someone who's driven by passion. I mean, that's just it. It's
What are some other words for a person that does that?
I guess you could say capable.
Uh-huh. What else?
And okay, capable, competent. I guess inspiring, because when Save Ourselves, the name of our organization is Save Ourselves Breast Cancer Organization. And we have that name because we realized it was going to be up to us to save ourselves, because modern medicine didn't have it all, or if they did, they weren't going to give it to certain people because of insurance limitations. So
How about remarkable?
Okay, I'll say remarkable. Yeah, I'll take that.
So I want you to turn it into an I am statement. So repeat after me. I am capable.
I actually, there's an interruption, but I don't know if I am capable and remarkable.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And amazing.
And amazing.
And inspiring.
And inspiring. I am remarkable, capable, amazing, and inspiring.
Yes, you are. I'm guessing that you're able to see the gifts and the amazingness in others, and the gift that you get today is to now see that in the mirror.
Okay. Amazing, capable, remarkable, inspiring. Okay.
So what gifts might be in store as you carry this new truth forward to the world? This inner knowing that you are remarkable, that you are inspiring.
So what gifts? Just the ability to, or maybe, I don't know if the word is ability, because we already established that, but the gift would be seeing how this can help so many other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. So I see from your profile picture that you've got a daughter.
Yes.
How do you see her? Do you see her as
okay.
special?
Well,
amazing.
Well, yes, she is. I don't know how, but what's really remarkable is how she came to be, because after I had cancer, they told us not to have children. And I grieved that loss. And then as 40 approached, that clock was ticking. And meanwhile, medical science had sort of changed their view on people with breast cancer having children. And so we started trying, but we weren't having success, and the 2 fertility doctors we saw told us, one kindly, one not so kindly, to give it up. One was encouraging donor eggs. And then one time, John and I, we meditated, and he asked God, please, God, if we're found worthy and ready, could we please be blessed with a child? So Ariana came to be. When she was born 11 and a quarter pounds on 11/11 at 11:44. When I was 45 and 8 months old.
Wow.
So that is kind of remarkable.
Yeah, that's more than remarkable.
Yeah. When in doubt, ask God.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, also I took an herb too. I took chaste tree berry extract for 7 days. And so the combination of things. So yeah. So yes, I think she's amazing and remarkable. And she's working her way through college right now. And
wow.
And she's got this very high set of scruples that I'm just so impressed with. I mean,
So I want you to repeat after me. I partner with God to create miracles.
Oh man.
Amen.
Yes, I partner with God to create miracles. Oh my goodness. Who I
am attracts greatness.
Who I am attracts greatness. Who I am attracts greatness.
And then all you have to do is to think of your daughter to find that evidence.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Tiffany, what do you want to share with Cass?
Oh man, I've been waiting patiently. Do I get a gold star for my patience this morning?
Yeah, good job.
Cass, I'm sending you so much love, and I love that you have a little ginger daughter. You got a lucky one.
Yeah, thank you.
So similar, what Andy had said and talked about, I love some of just the reminder of who you are and the power of, and I honor your courage and where you're living into, right? The faith of where you're at in the situation, as you explained financially and what you're up to, is that when I first launched my business, that first year of growth was, let's just say, an intense ride, right? Because I was used to a lot of security and a regular paycheck, and I had put some money away, so similar to like an IRA, and we're living off my savings account, and every month that I'd pay the mortgages, my anxiety would crawl, right? It would creep up, because again, I was very security minded prior to a lot of change that I went through. And so I would pray and meditate, and I'd get the same answer every single month. And that answer was, stay the course, things are working out. Now, I don't know what your answer is, but I know that you know how to find the answer. And I love that affirmation. Andy, will you write that in the chat box notes?
Oh, please.
That I partner with God to create miracles, something that you were saying. But how you find answers, or how you find your God voice from prayer, meditation, is taking it similar to prayed over having your daughter. Even though, logically it didn't, quote, make sense, and other people with voices of authority in the medical field were saying that's not a good idea. What matters is that you listen to your own heart. And yes, there are times where there's seasons where you take a part-time job, or sometimes as we're growing or building a business, we, do take a part-time job or full-time job. And there's no shame in that. It's just what you need to do is honoring that while you're in your own growth process, is listening to what other people say and do. Like me, I left corporate America in 2009. We were still in quite a bit of a recession. A lot of people thought that was not the smartest idea. But I knew I was doing the right thing. And that was a walk with God for me. And so similar with you is how you tune into that and how you know, find what the right answer is for you and then trusting that. So really powerful that you're living into that. So I just want to honor you for that, and that things are working out. They are working in your favor, and it's honoring, the intuition and the insights that you're personally receiving.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
So thank
really
you for
appreciate
sharing
it.
that today.
When you said raise your hand, I just thought you want to know who's on the call, and so I didn't know, and then I said, okay, be vulnerable. So thank you so much, both of you. This is tremendous.
Thank you for staying with it and for staying on and being vulnerable. It's been a gift to all of us. Well, God bless you on your journey forward. We'll be cheering for you all the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, Sonia will be joining us here. Let's see. Sonia, can you hear us?
Yes, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome to the call.
Okay, thank you. Hi. I want to start by saying thank you to Tiffany for your every November, your gratitude and generosity series. I look forward to that. I've been in doTERRA now for about 6 years, and I know for at least 3 or 4 years I've been participating in your November call, and I look forward to that. Even if I can't make it on live, I always listen to the recording several times over. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Lovey. I'm so glad you're part of it.
Yes, wonderful. But the last call and something that Andy said prompted me. I was thinking, do I want to share? Do I want to share? Because it really does get me outside of my comfort zone being on this call in front of everybody. But he mentioned miracles and being a partner with God for miracles. And I wanted to share with everyone that I do have, I'm grateful for. I have 4 children, and my second son, when he was 2, he's now 18, but when he was 2 years old, that he was diagnosed with autism. And so I remember asking the doctor, well, what can we expect by the time that he's an adult? And she said, well, you can expect some symptoms or you can expect no symptoms. So basically, she didn't really give me any hope. And we didn't stop there. We started praying. And I just had a conversation with God, and I said, okay, Lord, you blessed me with this child. Now I need help. And I just had faith because, faith precedes a miracle. You have to have faith first. And so with just being proactive and changing our diet, changing our lifestyle, going to a lot of, holistic doctors, doing different things for him, different types of therapy. Now, fast forward, he's 18. He's graduating early. He was nonverbal, but now he's verbal. He is very active, and he is going to graduate next month. So he's going to graduate 6 months earlier than I even thought, because I didn't know that he had that strong desire to graduate early, but he did. And he has such a sweet spirit, and he wants to serve a mission for our church. And it's just amazing to see what God can really do. Like if you put your faith, and I'm just so grateful for that, because we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know. And years ago when he was that nonverbal kid, no social skills, no language, we didn't know. Like it was hard for me as a mom to just really step out there. But I remember thinking, well, I have to try this. My mother-in-law was like, well, how do you know it's going to work? I said, I don't know, but something has to work. We have to see some improvement somewhere. So I guess, with the spirit of gratitude, I'm just grateful for faith, and I'm grateful for the fact that I know that God has a plan for every one of us. And if we just truly believe that, and we stay close to that and not let those negative thoughts get in there to disrupt that peace that we have, we will see results and we will see miracles. And we are partnering with God all the time when you have faith to produce those miracles.
Oh,
So
amen. Thank you for just pouring that light into us today. Like, I
Yeah.
just feel, you guys, I love you all so much. Like, oh man, I get so much out of us meeting every week. So thank you, Sonia, for that. That's just beautiful.
you're welcome.
Hmm.
Andy, what do you say to that?
I know, just thank you. Just namaste and
Right.
so much gratitude. Speaking truth.
Sonia, is there anything we can support you with today or anything that's up for you?
No, my heart is full, but I'm just grateful for you and for your positive energy that you pour into us all the time. So thank you.
Love you, sister.
Thank you so
Love
much.
you. You're welcome. Bye.
Wow. Well, today we're just feeling the gratitude.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
I've seen some other questions though that you've posted or that are showing up. If you want to address that. Someone was asking about your training last night. How did your training go? You and Natalie said it was so good and helpful. And if there's a recording, can they access that is a question that's up for you.
So I looked on so last night we did a live stream through Oil Life, and it was on the emotions book, how to use it and how to process your own emotions and help others process their emotions. It was amazing. It was so fun. And I looked on their website, and the page where you could access it is not there. I think, so I don't know, but Natalie and I are happy to basically redo that recording, and we'll post it in the Essential Emotions Facebook group. So let me post a link to that, and you can stay tuned to that group, and we'll let you know once that is available. So that was a fun little gathering. So that's just a Facebook group called Essential Emotions Training. Anyone's welcome to join, and we'll post the video again there. We've got another question from Catherine on Facebook Live. She says, what specific resources or processes do you currently follow when enrolling a new builder? I asked her what her passion is, what drives her, and she said, now it's just helping people. I want to help them so it doesn't happen to them. She lost a son to suicide. Wow, so hard. She's positive, grateful. I'm in awe of her. Want to make sure I'm in the right mindset and skill set to lead her to just the right tools and resources. So getting back into building my business after a long break. Well, first of all, I'm sure it's no accident and no coincidence that you are in her life and that you get to be part of her support system as well as her success team. It sounds like she has a really deep why and a lot of drive. And so I think the best resource that you can point her to is you. I think there are some great programs out there. There are some great, I just mentioned the whole book, The Infinite Game, an incredible resource. But honestly, when it comes to helping people discover their passion and discover their just cause, as Simon Sinek calls it, the greatest tool you have is you. Following your intuition, being a listening ear, just being a sounding board for them. There never will be anything like that. So giving them the gift of your presence, and being willing to be still in some of the long silences is the gift. That is such a tremendous gift. So I think, there's always going to be programs. There's always going to be shiny objects. And Simon Sinek talks about that actually in his book, the shiny object syndrome. But I would just come back to being willing to hear their pain. So it sounds like for her, the pain is, I want to do something meaningful, right? I'm not driven by as much by the money or by the recognition. It sounds like where she's at right now is, I just want to help people. And specifically, maybe people in her son's situation. So just being really present to that and staying in that space rather than, okay, let's go hop into, this or that latest training. I think that's going to be the most valuable thing. And getting down in the trenches with her. Maybe you've taken a break for a while, but going out and teaching classes with her, going to one-on-ones with her, doing business trainings with her. Natalie and I just launched a new team. Tiffany got to meet a lot of them over the weekend, and there is so much energy. I can't think of anything that's more energizing than breathing new life into a brand new team. So my biggest advice would be, don't sit on the sideline. Jump in there and ride the wave. It's the best thing ever. Tiffany, do you have any shares for Catherine?
I think that you pointed out that really resonates with me for sure is like her being the best resource, right? Like thinking for sure is to trust herself and leading this individual. Of course, I'm always going to say lead heavily with questions, right? That we're regularly doing inquiry. Where are you at? What are you needing? What's working well? How can I support you? Where are you feeling confident? Where are you feeling not as confident? Right? And helping activate that. Of course, I think there's a lot of great resources in the Empowered Success System. And I think the aspects, of course, invite her to this call weekly, things of that nature, getting her plugged in. But I think really it's trusting ourselves and it's tuning in as well through asking questions what they need, right? What they're needing to grow and so forth, I think makes the biggest difference.
Yep. And we've got the backbone, right? We've got the whole Empowered Success System that lays out, what are the key ingredients. It's inviting, presenting, enrolling, right? That's the meat and potatoes of our business. So we don't need to ask ourselves, oh no, I haven't built for a few years. I can't remember what to do. It's all there. So obviously you're not just making things up as you go. It's all there. The other thing on that topic that I was a huge takeaway for me reading The Infinite Game. He said that the temptation when a leader is needing to make hard decisions and they're being tempted to go more towards the finite game instead of the infinite game, the temptation is to go to mechanics. To just say, okay, people aren't doing enough inviting, so we're going to create a tool and we're going to create a system or some kind of software that automates things and makes everything easier. And anytime we try to use mechanics to fix a leadership problem, it's going to fail. And so when I read that, I realized one of my greatest fears is that the Empowered Success System is perceived as you have to follow these exact steps and be a robot as you teach the natural solutions class and read it word for word. That is the last thing that we hope would happen. The intention is to breathe life into humans and their passion, and to infuse passion with the vehicle we call doTERRA. So your exact situation, Catherine, I think is a perfect example to show how the tools are there, the track is clear, but there are 100 different ways to get to the summit of a mountain. There is not just one path. And so a system like Empowered Success is designed to give you just the core basics of what's needed. So that's why we focus so much on pipes. No matter how you build, whether it's online or focusing on women's hormones, or with a focus on the business, it doesn't matter what you lead with, whatever lives for you. The point is, breathe life into others. Lead with vitality, lead with passion, and in that process, the tools will support you. So, just a little soapbox moment about how to lead and not become a robot. Okay, we have a question.
Go ahead.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to address Lucy's comment that you posted about the Give to Grow campaign.
Yes.
And she said, I shared with my team immediately, but it sounds like still needs to donate for my special that I offered. So I'm willing to extend that one more week through Sunday. So If you were with us last Wednesday, Andy, do you want to just queue up really quickly what we're doing? And then I can pop into, so people know what this, Give to Grow campaign is in case they haven't caught it.
Absolutely. So Natalie and I are really passionate about everything on the healing hand side of doTERRA. But there's one organization in particular that we partner with called Mentors International. And they're all about creating freedom for families through mentoring, obviously, and through microfinance. So you can actually create freedom for a family forever for only $428. That gives them a loan that allows them to start a business, and then they get the mentoring they need to run their own business, and then they pay that loan back over a period of time, and their payback rate is like 98%. So that loan, that donation that you make actually goes on to set other families free, and it becomes this perpetual giving vehicle that's so incredible and so powerful. So during the month of November, Natalie and I want to add some juice to this, and in the spirit of gratitude and of giving, we want to make your gift count for even more. So we went to doTERRA and said, hey, if we match every donation made by our team, would you be willing to match both of those? So for every $100 given by our team, we'll throw in $100, and then doTERRA will throw in $200. So if you put in 107, we would do 107, and that becomes the 428 that sets a family free. So on that, Tiffany added her own offer. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, so anyone you guys can donate $5, right? And it will be matched, or $25 or $37, like what you can give. I get it, like different seasons. Stretch a little bit till it hurts, just a minute, right? Like I love, there's this phrase I learned, it's an Emerson quote that says, you cannot outgive God, right? And I love that quote. You cannot outgive God. I learned about that in a great book called The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity by a woman named Edwene Gaines. That is a must read on your personal development list, by the way, about money and money mindset, how to nourish that, how to shift it, how to change it. You cannot outgive God, right? And so I just want you to, give where you can give. But for those of you that choose to give at $100 or more, I've opened up that you can receive anything in my store for free, a digital version, the digital download version. And you simply will email my team, info@TiffanySpeaks, with subject line healing hands or donation. And my assistant will honor whatever you pick out of the shop. So you can go to my website, tiffanyspeaks.com, click on the shop button, any of those programs. But I have programs in there that, you know, from the Sales Mastery Kit, which you definitely want in your library, to the Success Academy course that's $300, or the Mindset Makeover course that's a couple $100. There's just several things that anything you want out of my shop, you get to pick one if you donate $100 or more, and we gift that to you absolutely free. So I want to have the opportunity where you can, you know, as you give, you receive, and that those products will help you in your business, will help you in your mindset, will help you in your growth and your success. And so through this Sunday, we'll extend it one more week, that anyone, yourself or anyone on your team, anyone that donates to the sharesuccess.com/give to grow campaign at $100 or more, just take a snapshot of your donation and email it to my team, and then we will get you set up with any course that you choose to pick.
Thank you so much for that, Tiffany. That is so generous. And, you know, you don't have to do that, but, you know, true to your character, you just, you're trying to keep up with God, and he just keeps blessing and returning. And
True.
So that spirit of abundance lives. So thank you so much for your generosity.
Welcome, welcome. All right, I need to hop off for the day if you want to wrap
Okay.
us all up, but just love you all so much. Thank you for being here. We love you. We're grateful for you, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks so much. See you guys.